Hello, everyone, and welcome to Page Crusader Missions Christian Warrior Talk, the Christian Fellowship show, broadcast time, hour, whatever you want to call it, where we invest in one another, take time out of our busy schedules, no matter what, to spend time with one another. It's where we learn from our victory, or we celebrate our victories. We learn from our setbacks, where we lock lock our shields of faith and boldly step forward into the shield wall for one another. It has been a great week since our last week. We kind of have back-to-back kind of dark or down weeks.
Yeah.
And, I was riding on Cloud 9 today and had a lot of ambitions. Had a lot of things. I wanted to get the bathroom wall up. As you guys know, we've been talking about for at least a month now. Our bathroom, the toilet leaked, and we had to rip everything, rip the floor up, rip the wall out, rip the vanity out. And we got a floor down. We've got all the sheetrock off. And now we're getting ready to add shiplap to the walls. Had to cut through the tiles. Got a whole big mess. But anyways, tonight was the night where I was going to start hanging boards. And then I get a call.
Well, it was the plan. But we thought it was a 15-minute plan.
We wanted to move
Peg
Peg.
was ready to be weaned from the babies, and we're actually a couple of days behind when we planned to. So tonight we were like, let's just quickly move her as part of chore time tonight.
Yeah, we were going to move her
She's
30
always
yards.
been
30
very cooperative. She's
30
cooperative,
yards.
Peg. Yep.
30 yards.
She's like, I'll follow a bucket of
Not
milk
300 yards, 30 yards.
Easy peasy.
And, well, I'll let you, since I was on one end of it and you were on the other.
So Peg has been in a so she's been with the babies. The babies are 8.5 weeks old. And she was moved in there a couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
So she's been in there for 2.5 good solid months. And it's the barn stall and like a very small enclosure because
and she's used to having acres.
And because we needed it to be something like we needed to use hog panels so that the babies would be secure. We couldn't just run hot wire. And if it was just hot wire, we could have made it a lot bigger. So she's been in like a sadly small area for 2.5 months. And so we walk her around the barn. Fortunately, it's was all contained with hot wire from the barn walk to where we were bringing
the preparation of all the work we did to set up a temporary birthing
place
pasture,
Karen, which we didn't use, but that was up there, so that kind of created every side is fenced, and so she sees grass and goes nuts, like bucking and spinning and running and eating and bucking and
bucking,
happy Peg, and it was all cute, and then it was like cute, but she's not coming because she's just like, this place is great. And we were still having to get her like down the little hill. And our distraction of feeding the big pigs their dinner was like long gone. So they were all kind of crowding the area that we were going to try to get Peg in. And so in one of the efforts, like she kept kind of coming close, and in one of the efforts of lifting the fence, because we had to lift the fence poles so that she could get under the hot wire, Al gets out. So he's now out in the kind of the middle field area with her. And at first he's like, well, this is great too, because they don't have much grass in their enclosure right now. Because they're mostly trying to kind of turn up the garden. So they were both just kind of putzing around, eating grass. They knew each other was there, but at some point he must have sniffed her wrong or something, because she lit him up.
I saw full female cray. Like, what did you do to me?
We've seen like squealing and like
we've seen little like
pigs, but like never
like
a
slap
pig
fighting,
fight.
almost like nah,
They
Ugh.
were going, and Al was clearly on the defensive, like not wanting to
Al did
participate.
not want to fight her at all.
But she was going to town, and like then
She was
has
ruthless.
like blood in her mouth. He has scrapes everywhere. B was out there also, and she had been kind of climbing a low tree branch that's been on the ground there. And fortunately, I had just moved her from there to a higher tree, and they go like crashing
into the brush.
there. And
I mean, it was
so
like
we're like-
something out of
it was nuts.
like National Geographic.
We were like, we're not getting in the middle of that. They're just gonna have to sort that out. They were like crashing through all the chicken stuff. It was pretty.
I was
crazy.
waiting for them to go into the barbed wire fence or through
Into
the
the
fence.
cows and
Yeah, it was hardcore.
yeah. So they finally separate, and Al was like, "Let me back in."
Yeah,
So
he's
he
like,
was so
Get me
happy
away from this
to
cray girl.
go back in. And then Peg was just like, "I'm cool here." So we shifted, fortunately, again, because Jason had put up that extra fence for Karen, there was enough excess that we were able to shift and kind of corral her in a little tighter. But it's still like she had access into the meat chicken stall in the barn. One of the sides of fence was just a single strand. It was not ideal.
Hi, tube guy.
Hi, Brett. Yeah, I just saw your comment. And so we're like, well, we can't really leave her like all night here, but let's just let things chill. Jason was he started trying to kind of like reconfigure the fence line.
Miss you too,
and-
Billy. Good to see you.
And I last ditch effort, like I had gone through like previous bucket of milk. I had brisket trimmings. I mean, like, and so they were stuffed at that point. So I had one more bucket of milk scraps that I was able to grab and distract them one last time. This was like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
into
we
this
had to
effort,
rearrange
like-
where we feed them. Like, I mean, this was a 2-hour project that was supposed to be 15
like so
minutes.
yeah, and so
And like an intense time.
so finally, this is my last bucket of milk. I got the other pigs like into the trough in the middle of the garden area, and Peg was like, "All right, I'm thirsty." And finally, we got her under the
I mean,
fence line.
the funniest part was after they were done fighting, they both were like crashed.
Yeah,
out.
Al was
They were like,
sacked out. But then when she got in, she went after Al again.
She went after Al. She went after Boink.
Well,
she
they
went
were
after
all like,
Bacon.
"Ooh,
She
who's
went
this
at-
new girl?"
She went after every
She
single
was
one
not
of
having.
them.
She was like,
She was a berserker, man.
well, she just came off maternity leave. Like, I understand it.
I don't understand that. These poor dudes had.
Well, they're
Had
like
that-
all up her chachi. Like, they're like,
What?
who is this?
When she decked Al, he wasn't even close
Well,
to
I'm
her.
just like she went excessive on Al, but like
Like,
I understand.
Al
like,
wasn't even sniffing her. He was just he was like 10 feet away.
she went after his cojones. Like
She bit his cojones.
she
The
was
jewels,
like,
man.
we saw a new side of Peg tonight. Yeah, and so then I just went out to shut everything down, and she had no idea where they went to sleep, like in the shed, and she was in line of sight of her babies still. So she followed me around. Hopefully, there's no bedtime
Breakouts.
tussles that we're not able to kind of monitor. We'll see what we walk out to in the morning.
Yeah.
But holy
it-
drama.
Yeah. This
Pigs have become a pain to move. Like the first couple times, we clearly were just like,
This
Lucky
is
blessed.
easy. Grab
"They'll
a bucket of
follow us.
milk.
Yeah, no
We'll
problem.
we'll just drive and then we'll stop and they'll come trotting by. And there was that. Now there is no
nice.
more easy. These are 400-pound monsters. Like I have a bigger respect for Peg watching her wail into a larger Al.
Whew.
Like she's 400 pounds. Al's got to be, I don't even know.
Well, I don't
mean,
know. I mean, she now like seeing her next to everybody
now-
else.
now
She's
she
clearly
dropped
lost
a
weight
lot of
from
weight.
kind of from milking, feeding the babies for 2 months. She
So
looks-
she's a
she looks
svelte
skinny.
350 right now.
She's the
And
athlete
he's a
compared to-
jacked 4. And he's got his little tusks coming in. And again, he was like, hey,
He
what's
didn't
up,
want it.
babe? How's our kids doing? You didn't visit the kids once. You didn't bring me anything. And she just went complete ghetto crazy on him.
Get up crazy.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like baby
it was-
mama drama
oh my
straight
goodness.
from the hood from every domestic call I've ever been to.
So we're learning. I mean, because everyone, like, I've seen a lot of people talking about pigs about like managing dynamics and never put so and so with so and so. We're like, our pigs have never had a problem.
Yeah, pigs never had problems.
And it's like,
until
I
you-
didn't think it would be a big problem because they all knew her. Like, she wasn't new to anybody. But I guess 2 months apart.
Yeah,
like,
there was
was
no
enough for her
there
to
was
be
definitely
brand
no pig child support paid.
new.
There
No.
was no tag out for, babysitting, nothing. And she went berserk.
Do you see this body now?
Yeah.
You
Look at
did
this big, look what you did to me with these big old nipples.
They'll
Oh my
never bounce back.
It was, I swear, I wish I had filmed it and like did voiceover.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
I don't think anyone has
Hey, baby,
like,
what you doing back in town?
oh
Look at
yeah.
you here, and all of a sudden, you,
Bam!
you, blam!
It's incredible.
Hey,
'cause,
chill,
like,
baby, chill.
gives you new respect. I mean, we knew that pigs could be like
Rough.
hardcore and that you never wanted to fall in front of a pig.
Yeah.
But kind of like just seeing how nasty they can be, it's just, yeah, it's always humbling when you're a little farm animal. Like, you see
Like
the
we
wild
raised
side.
them both from like little tiny things, right? They were 8 weeks old.
Yeah, but
It's
still.
still very small. And
So, yeah, it was interesting, but it blew up our evening. That's why we're late.
Yeah.
Like, everything, like, we didn't get back inside until like 7:30.
but
Started at like 5. It was an interesting farm night.
we will say a prayer for Chuck and
Mitzi.
Mitzi is, I understand that she was just put in hospice this afternoon. So we
Do you
definitely
know who
hope
that is?
I believe that's Lisa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're
So-
just showing up as Facebook user on our chat panel. So
So, but we, man, start a homestead, they said. It'd be fun, they
have a
said.
couple pigs, they said.
Yeah, have a couple pigs, they
So we're
said.
gonna have to. I mean, between the moving thing and then the reintroduction of females thing, we're gonna. I mean, this is gonna.
Like, I thought the boars would fight over the female. That's what the bulls would have done.
this is a
Like,
good
if they were
trial
cows, they
run.
would have done that. But instead, homegirl comes in and cleans houses. Like, just cleans everyone's clock.
Yeah. So we'll have to kind of take this lesson and think about, because I don't think Bubbles, like, we keep waiting for Bubbles to be bred, and I don't think she's bred, so she's freezer camp. But Oink might be bred, so we would have like 3 months or so to figure out kind of how we would want to handle the next farrowing, and it'll be warm enough
I would
that-
keep them side by side. That's all.
that
Like inside, insight.
like
Yeah.
we could just create a separate area, but
Yeah.
down where they are instead of having to
And
do
I
the
would
shuffle.
add wherever they joined, I would add hog panels.
So lessons learned as it goes. When
Poor
you're,
Al.
when you're figuring everything. It was all superficial stuff, like just little teeth scrapes.
I was
Fortunately,
waiting
like,
for her to rip off one of his wattles or something. I mean, she was
yeah, she was
going
going
so
to
hard.
waddles, his ears. She has a couple scrapes too, so he did give it back.
I think that was the sticks.
No, it's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, baby, back up. I
baby.
miss you, baby.
Yeah, something like that.
Get married soon. God has totally
That's
restored
amazing,
everything
Billy.
Satan stole. I have a beautiful fiance that is also my Sunday school teacher. That's great to hear, Billy. God bless you.
That's
Couldn't be
fantastic.
happier for you. So yeah. Did you ever think that you would be sitting here telling them pig stories on the internet?
Didn't think of
Wednesday
that.
night?
No, none of it. None of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But
And like,
since
and
our
then-
last show, Baby Yummy's here.
yeah, I'm sure everybody's heard. If you haven't heard, Karen had her baby on Saturday,
Yeah.
just on time. Like, Due date
Saturday,
exactly.
6 p.m.
Right at chore time.
Right before we went into a 20-degree night,
Yes, unfortunately,
followed
it was
up by an
in
18-degree
daylight,
night.
and we could kind of get a grip on things. She was a pro. She lost her last baby, so we weren't totally sure, but that's not uncommon. And she rocked it. The whole herd went nuts. So lessons learned there also. We
Oh,
need to be
man.
much more proactive.
So here's
about
this story. All
separating.
right, let's come into this one. So we're worried because Karen lost her first calf that she might have a difficult delivery. So we had talked about separating her, but for some reason we didn't. And when
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on.
I'm
Are you
just-
putting that on me?
I didn't say anything. I just said for
This
some
is
reason
news
we
to
didn't put
me.
her in the barn
This
because it
is
wasn't going to be
news me,
cold.
Mr.
It
Fence
wasn't going to be
Builder.
bad. They were going to be fine. You know, it's all good. And then, right, here it is, 6 p.m. Yeah, I'm freaking out. I'm building fences, doing all this stuff. And all of a sudden, her water just broke, or she just delivered her water back. And now it's like, oh man. So now we're watching from a distance to see if she's struggling. And we think that if she's struggling, she's just gonna be there. And we're just like in Yellowstone. You just walk up and pull it out. Well, no one told the bulls that.
Most people don't have their bulls
And
around.
no one
They're
told
birthing.
no one told the other cows that either because it was a show. And so we're sitting there and you know, between our two bulls, Wally, who's the herd master, he was the coolest of them, right? He comes over and we're in my 2021 Dodge Ram Power Wagon 2100, right? Or 2500. And Wally comes up and he's making all this noise and he's like, you guys gotta go. So he's pushing on the back of the bumper, moving the whole truck with his head, mind you. But he's moving the whole truck and he's like, you gotta get out of here. Right now, Solomon's baby daddy.
Yeah, he was over babysitting Karen,
He was babysitting
which I don't think Karen necessarily wanted, but
Right. So he's over there and I'm like, this is pretty cool. Right. Karen and Solomon's all there. Just breathe, baby. Breathe and push.
you're all into it tonight. Oh my goodness.
Push, right? And and then all of a sudden he notices like we're there. And he's like bucking and I start moving the truck. Well, we back up.
Yeah,
Right.
so like, yeah, he comes up and starts to just challenge the truck because we
He's
were
like
we were in a great vantage point.
Yeah. So he comes up and like, I don't have a push bar or a grill guard on this. This isn't the side by side, which I would have just been like, whatever, dude. And I would have just pushed on him. Right. This is my baby, my truck, which is, of course, like all trucks, all plastic. Right. So he's starting to like telling us to get out of here. And so we throw it in reverse and we go reverse. Him and Wally and the herd are like driving us away. And then we're sitting there and they're like, you know, kind of walking around and everyone's making, you know, all kinds of noise. And the herd's kind of surrounding the truck. And we're all in there like, this is all right, whatever. And we're kind of got a view of Karen's behind.
And this is all within like a minute of us backing up.
This is in a minute I was backing up. And all of a sudden I see a flash of movement. And then I see like an umbilical cord hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time we're like, that would have been really good on
That would have been so good. But so anyways, it gets better. It gets better.
So Karen had her
Epic
baby in like
parenting
30
fail
seconds.
as well here, right? So epic parenting fail here. So here we are, right? So now the baby, and we're trying to drive by, and the baby's on the ground, and it's still in the sack. And Karen's just like trying to get the sack off. And I'm like, man, am I going to have to get out and rip open the sack? You know, because it's been like a minute.
And like Lion King, like circle of life type. Everyone comes and like surrounds the baby. They're like,
Yeah.
new life.
Yeah, exactly. The whole herd comes around it. And then everyone's going to come up and hit it, and nudge it, and, you know, do like welcome and like headbutt it or something. You know, it was like the strangest thing ever. And then all of a sudden, Solomon's like, you got to go. And he comes bucking down the hill, and I hit the gas. And we are like cruising through our pasture, and he is full speed bucking the whole length of the pasture.
chasing us the entire way.
Right. So then we go up and around and zoom back down. And it was pretty funny. So then we come up on the other side and we're all parking there and everyone's letting us watch. We're probably 15, 20 yards from the baby. If that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I would say like, yeah.
Maybe
20,
10 yards.
Yeah.
And we went and picked up some friends who were there, watched
Yeah,
the
so we
birth
did a little
too.
loop around.
So we looped around, grabbed them, and we're all sitting there. We got, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 kids in the car, 3 adults.
It was B at the door, her little friend,
Who's
like
the same
kind of
age.
leaning on her, and then our adult friend and her older daughter in the back seat. And then Jason
And
was
we're on
holding,
a hill
Jason was holding
like this.
Anya,
So here's
driving, and
this
then
is
I
the
was
driver's side, and here's B with this other little kiddo.
and then all of a sudden we hear bum bum bum, and
No,
our
I
friend
hear the door. I hear
screams,
a door
screaming.
go flying open, and then I guess our 2 toddlers fell out the door.
They had pulled
10
the handle.
yards from where we
Crazy
crazy cows.
Crazy cows.
And I've got Anya in my lap. Lauren's over here. The adult in the back goes flying over, but she's like 4'2", right? So she goes like rolling out and like trying to get him in, and she can barely get back in the car. And it was just
The
like,
cows,
oh,
fortunately,
Lord.
just looked at
But
us
of course,
like,
Lauren
"Those
was live
crazy-"
streaming during this whole time.
No,
She was
I was
filming,
filming
and all of
it.
a sudden you hear, ah!
Yeah.
So
They-
everyone was fine. God protected us again from our stupidity. And that's why you enable the child locks in the back.
Yeah.
So, which are also like the abduction things where you just like, you lock and they can't get out. But yeah.
Right.
The kiddo locks. So we hadn't done that.
So
Hadn't been
anyway.
a problem.
Oh, good. So baby's good.
So baby
Parents
Yummy
doing
made
great,
it through her first 20-degree
So-
night.
so
We put out a ton of hay.
Jason's named her Yummy.
Yeah. So I named her Yummy because it's a cute name and she looks yummy and she's going to taste
She
yummy.
will likely be very yummy. Yep. So our first baby cow born on property, eventful as is everything else here with us.
Yeah. And then she went right into an 18-degree night. We're like, oh man.
Yeah, she rocked it. And she's just scooting around. We can see her out there. She's already like bebopping around,
Yeah.
doing her little baby thing.
Her and Mocha have already kind of teamed up on some things. Our other kiddo, I've watched them play
Yeah.
a little bit and do some stuff together. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cute.
So Karen has earned herself another trip around the sun because she's doing
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah, well,
she
Karen
be
might
our
be a
brood-
permanent now for a while because she's the best mama. Better than Maple.
Well, the two different uses. So, we have to as far as we have Karen and the Nugget, and one of them was going to be on the processing list, and the other one was going to get to continue to be a mama. And right now, Karen wins that.
So we'll see how Nugget does in her first delivery, which pray for us because that's in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
She's due April 10th. So
Yeah,
we've
right.
learned we definitely need to separate her because she's
Yeah.
more likely to need intervention.
Right.
So we don't want to have to deal with all of the nonsense.
Yeah. So lesson learned, when they're about 2 days out, separate them from the herd. And, so they're by themselves and cool. And if you got to do anything, you can do it, or put a jersey in there with them. Will be
Yeah.
harmless.
I think Gracie,
Gracie will
because
be
Gracie's next. So I think
Her
Nugget and
can go in
Gracie,
there, and they
but-
can all hang in there.
they're not like the most cooperative on kind of moving to new places. So we'll have to see.
There's green grass in there.
Yes.
They're going to be all over that.
Yeah.
And they all like that place because that's where it was like the palace during the cold.
It's a getting
December
her and no one else is going to be the shuffle. So we've got a week or so before we need to start thinking about that. And then Steve asked how are the turkeys doing. Mostly good. We lost one yesterday for whatever baby poultry reason that happened. So we're at 9 and they're doing well.
Yeah, they are doing well.
They grow quickly.
And then when was our ultrasound?
That was Thursday. That was the night after or the day after our last show.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, we have great news.
Okay, so we wrapped up on all of the farmness.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I thought everyone knew, and then I realized, wait a minute, I don't remember talking about this in the
Yeah.
show.
So we had a different OB ultrasound appointment for the baby last
As you guys know,
Thursday.
Lauren's 8.5 weeks pregnant.
Nine and a
Nine
half
now.
now. So I knew that I had been diagnosed with this thing called subchorionic hemorrhage or hematoma, which is just that there is, and it was described as large. So there was some bleed going on kind of on the exterior edge of some kind of section of the placenta. The baby itself was doing fine, but that's kind of really all the information we had. My midwife was like, you're on light duty, you can't lift anything heavy, don't want to risk it. There's still a higher miscarriage risk, yada, yada. So we went down to the specialist, had another ultrasound, the great tech who was like explained everything.
Oh my God, it was a
And,
night and day. Like when you're going in there and you're fearing your baby's dying or dead, right? You know, bedside manner is everything.
Yeah. So the first time, just for the sake of trying to get in quickly.
Good to see you, Phil.
We went to just the local hospital, and so it wasn't like an OB specialist, so just like a radiologist. So they just kind of did their typical, like, do the exam, don't really talk to you, results will get sent to the radiologist, you'll hear later. And she had to get permission to even tell us that there was a heartbeat, and that was all we learned.
We went in there and didn't explain anything, didn't point to anything, didn't show us anything, and we're just sitting there fearing the worst.
Yeah. So we learned that there was the heartbeat. The next day, got the
full
report about kind of what the diagnosis was, the cause of the bleeding symptoms I was having, and then not really any more than that. And so then this past Thursday, went down to this better one. She was great. So kind of got to see the baby again, all good. Jason got all teary about the heartbeat.
Oh my God, it was so amazing. I saw a face, man. 8 weeks, you see a face, you see little arms, little legs, and 8 weeks. And then, here I am, I'm guarding myself, right? Because I don't want to have my heart ripped out. So do I love the baby? Yes, I love the baby, but I'm prepared, and I think the baby's already gone. That's what I'm afraid, that we're going to lose it.
Yeah, I had already reconciled.
And I'm already like getting ready to do that. So that's the best way to explain it. I was guarding my heart against this. So not allowing myself to go all in on this baby, loving it, but afraid it's about to be snatched away. And when I heard that heartbeat at 169 beats per minute, just ticking away, I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking lost it. Everything became real. And then I saw the face and the arms and the legs.
The tech was like, it's in the little gummy bear stage, and it's very, very accurate.
And I'm just like, holy smokes. And I'm just like, I'm ashamed as well, because I've advised and talked to people back when I was an atheist and I was in my 20s, talking to people about, it's just cells, 8 weeks is nothing. You think 8 compared to 40, whatever. And I'm just like, had I known, I would never have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Had I known it's got a heartbeat, had I known like it's a person, obviously I didn't know about souls or any of that stuff then. Or, I was all part of the secular Boston. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Now it's complete murder.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
That's not my
murder.
body in there.
It would be straight up murder. And when you're looking at a face, it's like, I was pro-life before that, but holy smokes, you just don't like that heartbeat bill. At a minimum, that's got to be the national law.
Yeah, should be.
At a minimum.
Should be.
When you hear that heart, it changes everything.
Yeah. So we did that. And then the doctor came in and was basically like, so why are you here? Like, your ultrasound looks good. Yeah, you have this bleed or this hematoma. Not a big deal. it doesn't increase your miscarriage risk because it's kind of contained at one end. It's not kind of surrounding the baby at all, which is really the only time that miscarriage risk would be higher. So he's like, it'll work its way out. You'll have a couple more episodes of bleeding and stuff as the baby grows and just pushes that old hematoma out.
Healthy baby boy today. Pray for a healthy baby boy.
We're gonna find out next
3
week.
B's.
Next
Baby boy. Baby boy. 3 B's.
Yeah, so I get
Baby
to do
boy.
I'm doing the blood work next Tuesday, so maybe results by the end of the week. We'll find out that. We'll let you guys know. Yeah, so then we were like, so we'd been kind of advised that I need to be on light duty, and he was like, that's misogynistic, like whatever. There's no connection between weightlifting and the risk of this. Like, it's not going to make any
And Lauren
worse.
was totally bummed because she wanted
I
like
just
bed
love being
rest.
called fragile.
She
loved it
just
so
wanted to like,
much.
all of her supposedly Christian, like women's power people are telling her like, no, you
Take
again,
advantage of being
yeah.
a woman.
you shouldn't do anything hard. You should just lounge and eat grapes all day. I
But-
mean, it's just the most ridiculous stuff. I've
Anyway,
ever
so
heard.
he was like, no, you're fine, which my midwife does not agree with. But
Well, Lauren didn't like adding a little drama to it. She's like, so can I throw around 50-pound bags of grain? I'm throwing them around. Can I do that? And it's like, yeah, Lauren does that like this. It's not even hard to her. What she should have framed it as, can I do things that aren't even challenging?
so anyways, I'm just being reasonable. But it was really, really reassuring to get this information and just have the confidence that everything is going to progress as it should. So I am on a progesterone cream, Louis. No, for real, light duty should be a must. Those muscles do contract. So I'm not doing anything beyond what my body was more than capable of pre-pregnancy, and
She's not doing a
I am
PR
being
deadlift.
reasonable and not pushing myself to the extent that I might have been willing to before. But like carrying a bucket and a feed bag is not a big deal for me.
Now, if that was going, we wouldn't be here as a species because guess what? People who have had farms and lived on the frontier and before all this stuff, yeah, everyone did everything they could because you had to, or else you froze to death and died in the winter.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is not like picking up a new weightlifting hobby.
Yeah, you're not gonna go do a deadlift PR.
Yeah.
Your personal record.
I will certainly need to be streamlining some of my things just for the logistics of like running out of lung
Because
space.
Lauren be stubborn.
I need a wagon to carry my buckets for me. I can pull. Pull is easier than carry as I start to lose lungs. So, but for now I'm good. So the next news will be when we know whether Jason is girl dad times
whether
3
I'm destroyed
or whether he
or
gets
whether
to start
I'm
his tribe
overjoyed.
of boys.
So pray for boy people. You don't know what we just went through this past 2 weeks with our very dramatic girls.
Don't worry, I'm not running marathons. I hate running.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not a concern for me.
But it has been like we came out of it 2 tough weeks, and I feel like we're definitely out of it. The darkness, the stress, and all that stuff is behind us. And looking things today was a complete cluster though. Got up, got to go do some stuff, came in. I haven't done my Bible study yet. Came on to do this pig expedition. Again, it always seems like we have a pig expedition now.
It's been regular.
We're not moving these suckers again unless it's directly like lift up the gate.
Well, we are moving them again somewhat soon out back, but we are going to learn our lesson and we're going to put in the time to run a hot wire shoot the entire way.
Hey,
down.
Chris. Yeah, we're going to definitely put a moving chute, And
so that they can't escape into the neighbor's cornfield.
yeah, I don't think the 80-pound bags of concrete would be good for her. So
Yeah, I'll stop at the 50-pound feed.
yeah, 50 pounds, she's all.
Those 80, I've moved some of those 80-pound bags of concrete. Those are a different story. Those
Yeah,
are like
they're no
an
fun.
extra, an
And
extra
we
kick in the
had
butt.
hundreds of those things when we were building our patio. It sucked.
Yeah, I'll pass on those ones.
No thanks. I'll pay a truck to come in and go.
If Jason doesn't even like moving them, I'll pass.
Yeah. But overall, guys, just great, amazing news.
You were about to complain about our toddlers.
No, I mean, but our toddlers have been nothing but emotion.
We're in the drama stage of young developing brains.
It is bad. And they're girls, so it's like even more dramatic.
Yeah. I don't think the girl drama starts
No.
until later.
No, they're already. B has cried over spilled milk.
I can guarantee you toddler
weeping,
boys. Chris, I
weeping,
can't remember
dying.
your kids. I know that your youngest is a girl, but you have boys, right? Did in the toddler stage, like 2, 3, 4, did they cry over stupid stuff?
Nope.
No. Always stoic. Do you still do?
We haven't done strength and honor in a while, Phil, just because we haven't had beverages and all that stuff, and we're barely just strapping it on. I do want to do strength and honor again, and we will bring it back in a real form. I'm just trying to reincarnate it.
And we have a lot of nights our audience hasn't been all that.
Yeah, a lot of times our.
Wait. 3-year-old boys are just as bad.
I don't know. Connor was good.
Connor is a different set of circumstances.
Just saying, that's the only boy I know. He was fine.
Okay. Well, the other ones I've been exposed to or hear of, just
You just betrayed me, Christopher. You just totally stabbed your bro in the back. I just want to say that.
The girl drama is worse than the hormone. Right now, they're just in brain development drama.
Yeah, well, there's still drama.
Boys,
B cries over spilled milk. What did B cry over the other again? Like somebody had gut shot, or what was it? Something awful, and you're just like, no, this is over ridiculous drama.
I don't remember.
I came around and I come running out of the room thinking that I'm going to see blood spurting on the ceiling and an attacker in here, ninjas wielding swords. And I come in and I'm like, Lauren's like,
don't even ask. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. But she cries more about the
she dropped her book
emotional stuff than the physical stuff.
Yeah. And I'm just like, just give me a boy, a rational boy. Well, that's Anya. Anya gets angry at everything.
Yeah.
Put this over here so we're looking at the right place.
Phil says, I've been away for a while. Can't wait to come visit. Definitely in my plans. You're welcome whenever.
I'd love to have you, Phil. I saw you in your cowboy hat. It looked legit until you start talking and you get that New York accent or whatever, Chicago. I can't remember where it was. It's good. Definitely not going to be a Texas twang.
Yeah.
I've tried the hats. I can't make them work.
They look so silly.
They look silly.
A lot of hats look silly, actually.
Baseball hats don't.
No, baseball hats don't look silly, but a lot of other hats look silly.
Yeah.
And especially women's hats.
Yeah. Now, howdy. I actually love the word y'all. It's one of the most effective words ever made.
Yes, that was the easiest thing to adopt.
Now that we're in the South, we can drop y'alls whenever we want.
Yes.
Totally cool.
It makes perfect sense. Man from Boston cannot pull the cowboy hat off.
I mean, I can pretty much hide my accent when I want to. I just got to deliberately.
Just don't talk to anybody else from Boston.
Right. I just can't relax. Just can't relax. But I think I'm not going to do it here right now. But I think
you're going to try to do the Southern?
I was about to.
You're going to try to do the drawl?
I know I could do it.
Oh, okay. Here in a little bit. Phil says, yes, these Texans still have a problem adjusting to me, but I am who I am. Yellow's not part of the Cambridge English Dictionary.
Well, who cares about Cambridge? Cambridge
Say
is where Harvard
there's
is.
a lot of newly defined words that are part of that dictionary, which are complete fluid.
Maybe if I had a couple brewhas in me, you'd get me to
You had a
start
couple
talking
brewhas
Southern.
and you'd be back to Boston.
You think those would be cold by now? No? Okay.
Well, I moved him to the fridge.
Oh, no. So now they're definitely not going to
Yeah.
be cold. I had some Sam Adams cold snap. That is my favorite. But hey, I want to shift thing here. I want to get a firearm that can fire 410 shotgun shells. Obviously a 410 shotgun will do it, but I
To
want
execute all of our obnoxious pigs.
to do my pigs. I want to do it with a 410 slug. I know the judge can do it, and I know the governor can do it. I want to get a raging judge because it's just the newest edition of Taurus that has the 454 round in it as well, which is like great. Which is like epic for big game if you need it. So like it'd be a great farm gun because whether you run into a bear or you get to put down an injured bull or whatever, you can just pull that out, put in the 454 and go. But I want to use it to process the pigs, because you're aiming at a brain about that big, right? And I don't want to go cheap and use a 22 LR. And I know heard multiple people who take multiple shots to kill their pigs. I want to make sure I love my animals even when they're knuckleheads. I want to make sure that they don't feel a thing. So, I don't want to over penetrate with a 308, which would go through their head and into everything else. I don't want to do that. Just hoping a 410 shotgun shell. So I've been trying to find a raging governor, and they've been really hard to find. If you guys see one, please send me a link. I would appreciate it. I want to get one. And it's a hand cannon. It's like a blaster from
How
Star Wars.
unfortunate for you that you're going to have one.
I'm
sure
it's a very versatile weapon.
Yeah.
So it's great for snakes. You can put a slug in there. You can put the birdshot in there for snakes. And you can put a 454 in there and dust anything you want. So, anyways, that's what I'm looking at. And I obviously don't want to use a 12 gauge. It'll be a freaking, it'll be a big mess. So, but that's what I want to do. So again, if anyone, anybody who wants to sell one of those, please send them my way. As far as other things that we have that we're going to be doing here, we got
22 on top of the skull, just below the back of the head.
Yeah.
Have you killed pigs, Phil?
Yeah. The everything that I'm hearing. Exactly, Dean. You can always justify another weapon. It is just that's
such a shame. Such a shame.
With pigs, you want to go ear to eye, and right where they cross is where you want to do. What I've been hearing.
And then it has to be the right
angle, and then it's got to be 100% perpendicular to the head, or else you'll skim off. So.
You'd never think that they'd be so hard to kill, like such big animals. You'd be like, okay, big brain. Nope.
No, but they are. I heard the only thing worse than shooting a pig once in the head is having to shoot it more.
Yeah.
No, you're all good.
Yeah. Well, they will be head down in a bucket of milk, is all I know. Big old bucket, so you have time to line up.
Yeah. They got an incredibly thick skull, right? And if you come, like I watched a YouTube video where a guy actually dissected, did a cut through, and showed where the bullet went, into the skull.
No, you just shoot them. You don't give a sedative or anything. They're just
just blast them.
Distracted.
You give them a bucket of milk. They put their head in, come up, they look up, and kabow.
Oh, I just felt a sneeze coming out. I didn't want you
Oh,
to
you're going to see the infamous Lauren double sneeze.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Well, it just went back
Look
in.
at that light. Look at the light.
Okay, I'll let it go.
Ready for tamales. You lost me, Phil.
For like what, ground sausage?
Yeah, we're going to be doing like a big pig roast for our wedding.
Who is that going to be though? You keep saying that, but I don't know who you're going to do.
Might be Bubbles then.
You're going to hold off on Bubbles until then?
Maybe. You know, we're actually smoking a brisket tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be 79 degrees. From 18 degrees to 79 degrees. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then next week has a night back down at 30 something.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Below freezing?
I don't know, barely. But anyways, yeah, this season's so rough on the animals, this up, down, up, down. But yeah, as Christopher said, you don't want to use a sedative or anything in an animal that you're going to eat. All that stuff would have withdrawal periods. And so if you're going to kill it right away, you're not going to put anything in there that you wouldn't want to ingest.
33, yeah. Oh, we're gonna use the whole pig, brother. We're gonna, I mean,
the only thing is we're not going to probably put the work into
Skin it.
scalding and what are they called?
Dehairing,
Yeah,
scraping.
scraping. So we're not going to get like the cracklings. We're going to skin it, at least for this first attempt.
Yeah.
So
And then, but you know, obviously the organs, I don't think we do anything with the organs. The dogs and the other pigs.
yeah, I
and-
don't see people talk about other than the fat for pigs, like keeping
Well, they-
pig liver and stuff the way that you eat cow organ and chicken. I have never seen anyone talk about that, so I don't know if there's a reason why.
So yeah, we're gonna, you know.
And we're not into blood sausage.
Yeah, no.
Like we saw one video of people like when they cut the jugular after they shoot it to kind of drain it, that they put a bowl to catch that blood to keep for blood sausage. Like,
No thanks.
we'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I'll stick to the Bible on that one. And then, you know, everything else you can, I mean, literally, I mean, people eat every part of it.
Jason's a little weirded out about eating anything that's head related.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally fine. The cheeks look yummy. Just looking at them, I'm like, that looks like a yummy cheek. When I lived in Vietnam, there was a butcher about a block away from my apartment. He butchered one pig about once every other day. Yep.
Use a
Since guns are not
sledgehammer.
allowed in Vietnam, he had to kill them by cutting its head off, and the screaming was horrible. I bet.
Yeah, they make a lot of
Cutting
noise,
its head
Louis. I've seen people over in the Middle East do it with hammers.
Yeah.
They just come up with a sledgehammer and blam,
Yeah.
you know. But the pigs make horrible noise. Like if you ever pick up a baby pig, it is just squealing. It sounds, you're just picking it up and
Mhm.
it screams like you are torturing.
That was the one thing that, like, because when I did the castration, it's like, all right, if they're screaming about anything I'm doing, they do that just when I'm holding them to.
Yeah.
So it kind of lessened the mental trauma on my behalf. They're like they'd be yelling like this if it even wasn't doing
We
anything.
did get into turkeys this time too. Last year we delayed, and by delaying, they never came back. They were just gone.
Yeah, so these ones will be ready
the
August,
turkeys and
September
Tractor
timeframe.
Supply are selling out instantly.
Mhm.
There was we went to go get them the other day, and
Well, we
walked
didn't
in.
know. We didn't intend to get them.
We walked in and we were surprised to see them, and there was about 20 or 30 in Tractor Supply, and we decided to go to dinner and then come back after dinner. So you're talking about less than an hour because we went to Mexico. We came back and they were all gone.
Mhm.
And then everywhere I go, they've been selling out instantly.
Yeah.
So we got our 9. The goal is to process them the end of September.
Somewhere in the August, September range. I think, yeah. we'll
And I
have to
think the end of
count it out.
September, and then we'll freeze them like immediately.
Mhm.
And We'll thaw them for Thanksgiving. It'll be amazing, fresh turkey,
Yeah.
organic, fresh turkey. Like holy smokes!
Yeah, it'll be cool. So these ones are just the broad-breasted, the white ones.
What ones did you get in the grocery store?
The ones we were originally going to get that sold out
Were
from kind of under
bronze.
us were the bronze-breasted, which I guess makes the dark meat taste a little bit different, more different. And Jason doesn't like the dark meat anyway, so he didn't really care.
Doesn't matter.
So we'll see.
We also ordered 100 Freedom Rangers. That'll be here. They're coming. I think they're ordering the second week of July.
hmm
So that'll put us in a processing date. I texted you.
July, August, September, October. Right before the babies do.
Right before the babies do. And we know that when did the feed bill go up? Is that November or was that October?
We did the batch we processed our last batch like at Thanksgiving. And that last month of growing them out
It's just horrible.
was they were going through, because we were feeding 100 birds and they were going through a 40-pound bag every day. And that was a $30-something bag every day.
Yeah. And I know we're going to be getting an incubator soon, and we're hoping to hatch out some more.
Yeah, we still haven't tested the eggs. I'd like to see what our Freedom Rangers that we held back will produce. So that'll be an experiment also, which we'll probably get into before this batch of Rangers gets here.
I hope you guys have been watching the Bible study. It's been a lot to do. Again, I didn't get to it today.
Well, speaking of Bible, Phil said not to change the flow of the conversation, but I'm still a little confused on the eating of pork or the hooved animals in the Bible.
So if you look at a lot of the stuff that's in the Bible, a lot of it is pretty miraculous, meaning, the trichinosis was it trichinosis in pigs?
I think that's what the pigs is.
Yeah, you'd have to cook it to a certain temperature. Basically, it was all to prevent disease. And then later on in the Bible, Jesus states that, it's not what goes in you that defiles you. It's what comes out of you. Everything that God made is good. So, again, a lot of that in the beginning, I think, was to avoid a lot of trial and error and a lot of people getting sick.
Issues.
Yeah, and health issues. So we now know that you have to cook pork pretty thoroughly. Some people
Which has
did
actually been adjusted.
It has been, but do you trust anything the FDA says after reading your thing on raw milk today?
Well, I think
honey.
I think mostly it's with
things that are
mass things that are
telling you that Fruit Loops are better for you and Fruity Pebbles are better for you.
I think
than
mostly
eggs.
it's food, like animal products that are produced in kind of the more mass production things that are much more exposed to disease are the ones that you need to be more cautious about how you prepare them. So, I mean, I don't know, biblically that wouldn't be so much of the problem. So I don't know where the kind of pig exposure to disease would be kind of back in
jail would be going easy on Fauci. He's basically in part responsible for the death of approximately 6 million people, if you believe the numbers. 7 million people. So, yeah, I don't know if a jail cell is good enough for that.
God's justice.
Yeah.
God's justice.
Hearing things that they're not going to arrest Trump now and that the case is falling through and blah, 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 blah. I believe it when I see it. I wouldn't be surprised if they perp walk him. I heard the special counsel's getting ready to do something right now.
Would they have any benefit in kind of putting that rumor out and then never
completely different from today, Philip? The only there's two religions that can't eat pork that I know of. Muslims don't eat pork and Jews don't eat pork. Christians can eat whatever the heck they want. You got that right, Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
You got that right. They want to control the food source. They, I just watched some footage on Instagram, and again, it's Instagram. You don't know if the context is right or whatever, but it showed a guy at an auction out west where the big beef companies were driving all the prices up on like bidding on really sickly,
Well, because apparently
overpriced
there's
everything because
a
there's a
cattle
shortage. There's a massive cattle shortage.
Yeah, which he said that kind of coming up this summer, we'd start to see the beef impacted in the grocery store. So we'll know if that comes true or not pretty
Right
soon.
in time for us to start processing our first cow.
Pixie, you're up.
Pixie's up. Pixie's the first up the bat. Not gonna miss Pixie.
No.
You know, she
The only issue is that she wouldn't be weaned yet.
yeah, well, we want her to be weaned. When would she be weaned?
May, June, July, August, September, October.
Holy smokes.
I think the youngest we'd want to pull a baby would be about 4 months.
Looks like we better get a steer from Farmer John.
We'll talk about it. I'll have Chris. Yeah, that's okay. I forgot that you had that much longer on yours.
Yeah, we're really I mean, doing cattle is such a long investment.
Well, yeah. If
you don't have a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of money. We bought herd starters. We bought young because they're cheaper, right?
The alternative would have been not breeding all of the girls to save one as a processed animal.
Yeah, but we're trying to grow
So.
herd size. Right? We're trying to get on the treadmill of, always having stuff up, always having stuff in the freezer, stuff scheduled to process and everything else. So, until you get in that, you're dependent on someone else. Right now, we're about to achieve what we've been looking for. We're about to start that treadmill, and then we'll always have 1, 2, or 3. Is where you want to be.
Phil said, watching your transition from since I met you guys, well, not really met you, but known you, what made you decide to pursue this plantation, for lack of better words, to do what you guys are doing? I love it.
What made us do this? Well, it was prepper mindset. And we were going to just do enough for ourselves, and whether you want to call God or the Holy Spirit or intuition, I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't a big booming voice from the mountain that said this, but it was this feeling in my stomach and my gut and my soul that when Ukraine kicked off, that stop building a church. You can go rent anywhere to be a church. You can do church on a lawn. You can do a church in a tent. You can do a church in your garage. And we do. You're looking at it. And you need to build an ark. You need to be able to feed people. Not an ark like going to flood the world, but, food supply that can take care of people and use that as our ministry. And, this place is going to be a destination place. We're going to have 12 to 14 cabins here. We're going to have a big church and event center on the top of the mountain. We're going to have, a pond stocked full of fish and duckweed and everything else. And, have animals here and walking trails and everything else. And if everything goes south, we have a prepper compound. If everything doesn't go south, well, we have an Eden that we can share with as many Christians as we can.
That's great, Chris. We're still working on getting a consistent group of people who actually help. We have people who step up for like the specific projects, but not the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, no, we're smoked, we're wasted. We're absolutely exhausted, and and it doesn't take much to overwhelm us. Like when everything's going great, we've got enough fingers and toes to put in the dike to be just fine. But when we don't, when things don't go right, yeah, exactly. The amphitheater in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, we're praying that God's going to send us true reinforcements. We're praying that God's going to send us someone that can do music, play an instrument, and sing for our services. We're praying that as the summer comes and we can beautify this place appropriately, that God is going to bless us with a bigger congregation that wants to be a part of this. It's not often you get to be on the ground floor of a church that's a farm, that's a prepper compound, that's trying to take care of people and allowing you to come be a part of that and to take food if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, people here are too lazy or too intimidated or too what, but not a lot of people that want to do it. It's too hard. And yeah, it's hard. But that's been the most disappointing part. We thought a lot more people would want to be like jump on it. Like if somebody was doing something like this in Virginia, I would have been all over it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. You wait for God to bring the people across wash them up on your shore.
Yep.
Lauren can sing, so I'm hoping someday she'll get comfortable and, maybe she's going to have to learn piano.
Waiting a while on that one.
So right now we're still using YouTube, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Our services are so small, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We just don't broadcast the worship part for the online crowd.
Yeah. So, so again, that, it's been a struggle. But it's been extremely rewarding. The winter sucks.
Hate it.
Winter in the spring sucks. Winter in spring. Yeah, Brett, there's a million reasons to want to do this. One, it's true fellowship. Two, it's biblical. Three, it's common sense. Four, it's self-preservation. But it is what it is. Chris said, I hate.
Probably the winter.
Yeah, animals in the winter have it rough, man. And the mud and everything else. I don't know. I'm sure it's Tennessee and our grass is going to grow back, but this place looks rough.
Looks horrible.
It looks horrible. The front of our house looks horrible. We still have our vanity and sink tops.
We have some stuff that's our fault, not mud season issues, but yeah.
This place looks bad. So I understand why, maybe people look at me like, that's a church. They've got a freaking vanity in their front yard and boxes that need to be burned and everything else. And what can I say? We're absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
The inside of the house isn't any better.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. And that's what happens when you have 12 cattle, 11 cattle. 11 cattle, 11 hogs. No, we're down because we sold 2.
Yeah.
So we're 9.
6, 9. Yeah.
9 hogs, 100 chickens, and 2 small children.
Yeah.
It's
we're a mess.
We're a mess. And no help.
We'll make it.
We're not growing flowers in old toilets yet. If they grow in there, we got our toilet out of our front yard. It's back in its place.
Yes, we traded it out for the vanity.
Traded it out for the vanity and sink.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're a mess, guys. Our neighbors must laugh at us all day long sometimes.
That's all right. We're working for God.
But as
keep telling ourselves
the people
that.
who can see past the warts, and the people who can see the potential,
we're grateful for them.
Yeah, we are. So, all right, guys, we hit an hour, And sorry, it wasn't an action-packed show, but it sure was a lot of fun talking about our adventure earlier today.
And we're going to go to bed because we're tired from it.
Yeah, we're absolutely smoked. The good news is thank you for your prayers,
Mhm.
right? So thank you for your prayers because Anya slept through the whole night last night.
Yes, she went to sleeping boot camp the last couple nights.
And, and we're so thankful for that. The other thing, Lauren, make sure you pray for those two names that Lisa mentioned.
Mitzi and Chuck and Mitzi. What's up?
Chuck.
Mitzi.
And Mitzi. All right. But yeah, you keep praying that the baby and Lauren's pregnancy goes well. Keep praying that Anya continues to evolve into a less psychotic child and into a well-behaved human being. And
What does that say? Well-behaved women rarely make history. She's on track to be like totally famous.
we don't want famous. We don't want famous. We want godly.
Godly.
Godly. That's what we want. We want godly. We want her to be as boring can be and know the Lord and have fun and be a great wife and all those other things. Not famous.
Yeah. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you grateful, as always, for this wonderful community. Thank you for the time that they devote to us, the prayers that they give on our behalf, and the support in each and every way. We are humbled weekly by the reminder of that, Lord. So thank you so much. Lord, there is so much this week that we have to be grateful for, that we've been speaking about tonight. Thank you for the personal blessing of this baby growing in my body and just the reassurance that all is well there. So thank you for that. Thank you for your hand on our farm this week. Thank you for baby Yummy and moving the pigs today, and that nothing went sideways more than it did. Because as always, we are just bumbling along, Lord, and you keep it all together and you protect us from mishaps that we walk into regularly. Lord, I'm praying for Chuck and Mitzi on behalf of our friends in our community, and you know the situation, Lord. Mitzi has cancer and she has gone into hospice, Lord, and I pray that she is nearing her time to come and join you, and that everyone who loves her and is surrounding her is comforted by that. And just as she moves into heaven and whatever timeline you choose, Lord, I just pray that everyone has peace in their life and can accept her loss with grace and just know that she is dancing with you in heaven, Lord. And just please ease her time while she's still here on earth and take any pain that she might be having and just give her calm and peace. As we move forward into this week, Lord, I just pray a blessing of peace and health and safety over all of our listeners and everyone in our community. I pray that they give their best time every day to you, Lord, and that they lean into your word for all of their trials and in all of their joys. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It has been great hanging out with you again. And thank you so much to Lisa for sending that amazing cow book.
Yeah.
B loves it. Love it. Sweet Feet.
Sweet Feet.
Yeah, good old Sweet Feet. Thank you. And, I owe you 2 texts, one for the piano, response for the piano, and the other for that pump. And the answer is yes on both. So God bless you. And I'll be reaching out to you.
Good night.
Good night.